Welcome back to Studs Up. I am Studs, and today we're taking a look at two different 501st ATRTs. This is not a set comparison. This is a build comparison. So sit back, relax, and let's jump right into it. The first major difference in between these two different LEGO Star Wars ATRT models is the gun and the size. The turret on this one here, the lower mounted gun, is quite long and quite big and looks quite good. It's very nice looking. This one's kind of dinky. It's like a stud shooter, and that's not the best. Another big difference is the front paneling here. This uses kind of some slopes. That looks, uses flat tiles. And overall, this is a lot smaller of a build, so that it's a little bit more minifig scale there compared to a minifigure. Some big differences in between these two models, like I said, are, I think a big one is the two different types of feet they use. And I like the new feet way better here. I feel like the new ones just look a little bit more mechanical, look a little bit more, I don't know, like an ATRT. I think that's the best way to describe it. And in-universe, ATRTs are quite small. They're not a big vehicle like LEGO builds them, which is why I like this one a little bit more for the sizing. I think this one has a better gun, and I like that a lot from that build. Let's check out. Each of these has weapon storage. This has a weapon storage behind the seat here. You can throw a gun in that place right there, stick it in there, and this one has gun storage on the back here. It's got a pair of binoculars, and then a gun can go there. Both of these have articulation in the legs, 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, and 1 point in the toe. 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, and 1 point in the toe. Both are very nicely detailed with these kind of fake looking, not fake, but representations of hydraulics here. So that looks very good. They each have, I think the cockpit in this one looks a little bit better because you have that control panel and handlebars. This only has the handlebars. Also, this one's nice because it's very easy to remove the figure, where this one is a little bit difficult because it has all four studs that are stuck to the figure's legs. They each use a lot of stickers, and overall, the smaller, skinnier design for this front thing, I think, looks a little bit more accurate to what we see in universe with this vehicle. It is a much smaller, kind of more mobile thing, and I think one of the problems is the fact that the kind of cab shrinks, but the waist span and the legs don't really shrink. And I think that's a problem. I think the legs, LEGO needs to come up with a new way to do the legs. I think in a more accurate way to make it a little bit more smaller and a little bit more accurate to the movies. And I think overall the design that you see here is very accurate to what we see in the cartoon. It's just the sizing is not very accurate. I think the stud shooter on the newer one is a little bit of a downfall here. It's not the best. Great thing is that you can modify it, you can take it off, and you can replace it. So that's a plus. And like I said, this older one here does have full posability here. And this one is on a ball joint, so it can go everywhere. The antennas, I think this one has a plus for the antennas, because on this one here, one of the biggest problems is when you're playing with it or something. Didn't mean that for happen. I meant to do, this falls off. They are very fragile. They're not held on super well. They're just kind of, they're not the most held on there. With these here, if you're playing with it and you hit it, it's just going to go backwards. And that's much more sturdy in my opinion. I think it looks just a little bit better too, having some alternating colors there. That's kind of the basic overview of these two builds. I think they are very similar. Just one just looks a little bit more sleeker and a little bit more fleshed out and modernized in the design, which makes sense because it is the newest one. Compared to a minifigure, though, if we compare a minifigure, that's the minifigure next to that foot. That's the minifigure next to the leg. That's the minifigure next to this section here. And then if we compare it on this one here, we see that's the minifigure next to the foot. That's the minifigure next to the leg. And that's the minifigure in the cab area. And I think overall, when you put a minifigure next to these two builds, you definitely see how much smaller this is than this one. Especially when I built it, I was like, whoa, that's quite small for it. It feels, I don't know how to explain it. It feels almost less bulky, you know? This is a very bulky, heavy build. This is very light, almost very reminiscent of what we see in the cartoon, which I am a huge fan of. I think this really resembles and gives the vibe of the ATRT from the Clone Wars TV series. I think overall, if you haven't already picked this setup, the 501st Legion Clone Trooper Battle Pack thing that we've got, and 100%, if you haven't already picked that up, as soon as you can. This set is a very good set. I think the turret design is way better on it. I think overall, I don't think it's a bad build. I just think this one ups it a little bit more, purely for the fact that it's modernized, and it just looks a little sleeker and has some better design qualities, and it's a little bit more minifigure scale than the older one here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit the like button. We are almost to 50 subscribers here on YouTube, and that is awesome. Also, feel free to hop down in the description there. You will see a link to my Discord server. Hop on the Discord server, chat, hang out, have fun. If you haven't already, I release videos pretty regularly here on the channel, almost daily basically at this point. So definitely go check out some of the previous videos here that I uploaded. I did a video yesterday where I talk about why I think LEGO is not going to release police sets for the summer. So go check that video out if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Studs out.